population is a full standard deviation, or sigma, in achievement scores better than the standard lecture-based class. And the individual tutoring gives you 2 sigma improvement in performance. To understand what that means, let's look at the lecture-based classroom. Let's pick the median performance as a threshold. So in the lecture-based class, half the students are above that level and half are below. In the individual tutoring instruction, 98% of the students are going to be above that threshold. Imagine if we could teach so that 98% of our students would be above average. Hence, the 2 sigma problem. Because we cannot afford, as a society, to provide every student with an individual human tutor. But maybe we can afford to provide each student with a computer or a smartphone. So the question is, how can we use technology to push from the left side of the graph, from the blue curve, to the right side with the green curve? Mastery is easy to achieve using a computer because a computer doesn't get tired of showing you the same video 5 times. And it doesn't even get tired of grading the same work multiple times. We've seen that in many of the examples that I've shown you. And even personalization is something that we're starting to see the beginnings of, whether it's via the personalized trajectory through the curriculum or some of the personalized feedback that we've shown you. So the goal here is to try and push and see how far we can get towards the green curve. So if this is so great, are universities now obsolete? Well, Mark Twain certainly thought so. He said that college is a place where professors' lecture notes go straight to students' lecture notes without passing through the brains of either.
Do you know the meaning? That is one. See it again.
Work multiple times. We've seen that in many of the examples that I've shown you. And even personalization is something that we're starting to see the beginnings of, whether it's via the personalized trajectory through the curriculum or some of the personalized feedback that we've shown you. So the goal here is to try and push and see how far we can get towards the green curve. So if this is so great, are universities now obsolete? Well, Mark Twain certainly thought so. He said that college is a place where professors' lecture notes go straight to students' lecture notes without passing through the brains of times. And it doesn't even get tired of grading the same work multiple times. We've seen that in many of the examples that I've shown. So if this is so great, are universities now obsolete? Well, Mark Twain certainly thought so. He said that college is a place.
Okay, this is the one. College is a place where professors' lecture notes go straight to the students' lecture notes without passing through the brains of either. Do you know what that means? Anyone? Do you know what that means? Mark Twain, you should know. He said, college is a place where professors' lecture notes go straight to the students' lecture notes without passing through the brains of either. Do you know what is the meaning? What's the meaning of these sentences?
I think what this means about the professors on stage and
He write the notes?
write a note and students
Write
write
the
a
notes.
note and without
Thinking.
Yeah.
You copy the notes without thinking.
Yeah, I
Just
think-
copy.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yes. So, and why it's funny? Why after the speaker she said these sentences everybody laughed. Why it's funny? Okay.
I think it is that we are students, and we sit on the chair and listen to the teacher carefully, but we don't learn the knowledge the professor really wants to teach us.
We do not ask the essential questions. We just take notes. We do not ask the
We
questions.
copy it.
Right, we copy it. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, that is the most funny thing. We do not think about the real knowledge. We just copy what happened. You know, what the teachers write down, and we write down.
Where a professor's lecture notes go straight to a student's lecture notes without passing through the brains of either. I beg to differ with Mark Twain, though. I think what he was complaining about is not universities, but rather the lecture-based format that so many universities spend so much time on. So let's go back even further to Plutarch, who said that the mind is not a vessel that needs filling, but wood that needs igniting. And maybe we should spend less time at universities filling our students' minds with content by lecturing at them, and more time igniting their creativity, their imagination, and their problem-solving skills by actually talking with them. So how do we do that? We do that by doing active learning in the classroom. So there's been many studies, including this one, that show that if you use active learning, interacting with your students in the classroom, performance improves on every single metric, on attendance, on engagement, and on learning as measured by a standardized test. You can see, for example, that the achievement score almost doubles in this particular experiment. So maybe this is how we should spend our time at universities. So to summarize, if we could offer a top quality education to everyone around the world for free, what would that do? 3 things. First, it would establish education as a fundamental human right, where anyone around the world with the ability and the motivation could get the skills that they need to make a better life for themselves, their families, and their communities. Second, it would enable lifelong learning. It's a shame that for so many people, learning stops when we finish high school or when we finish college. By having this amazing content be available, we would be able to learn something new every time we want it, whether it's just to expand our minds or to change our lives. And finally, this would enable a wave of innovation, because amazing talent can be found anywhere. Maybe the next Albert Einstein or the next Steve Jobs is living somewhere in a remote village in Africa. And if we could offer that person education, they would be able to come up with the next big idea and make the world a better place for all of us. Thank you very much.
Okay, your time. So now is your time to talk to each other. What do you feel? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this video? Do you like to study online courses like the MOOC? Please do so now. Okay, you have 10 minutes. You can go to the toilet if you have to. You have 10 minutes. I will ask you randomly pick up. What do you feel about this video? Do you like to study online? Do you like the online courses? Why these online courses? These online courses are different from other videos. Because they ask questions. You have to ask. Okay? You have 10 minutes. Please.
Good for also for my professors, for if I can catch
So you
Oh, you like
they'll count all the speeches.
how to write the program? You can take this online course to learn. You can repeat once and once again until you understand. Yes.
These are awesome methods.
They cheat?
Learn all
They don't
knowledge.
They are not good.
Cheaper,
They can repeat. They can
more
repeat
convenient.
for many times until they really understand. And also, book is not only taught by English. There are the book can be taught by Mandarin,
Chinese.
yes, Chinese or Korean or Japanese. The online courses, they are not only taught in English. That is a very good question. Try more.
It's a good way to learn more knowledge.
So do you like to study online? Do you like online courses? I know that. How about others? You don't know? Do you know if you don't like? Why you don't like it?
Because I think studying college
The first time?
is more important.
Social work.
Yeah. It has to be 50% of the study.
You don't like
Getting to know each other.
to know others is also important for your college life. Yeah, good point. Then how about you? You can learn some courses which are not taught in our own school. You can learn from other professors in different universities, right? How do you like it? No, you don't like it. Why?
Okay, so you'll have to give it a try, right? You like it? Like it? You like it? You like it?
You like to read the books? But sometimes you don't understand by reading. You would like to guide by someone, right? So if you don't know the meaning which is written in the book, how do you do it? Think? Rethink again? Or call your friends? Ask the teacher. If the teacher said, I'm busy, I cannot answer your question, how do you do it? Ask other teachers. I think you can try to dig out Google. You can search the keywords and learn from it. Okay, good point.